Vine kept crying, and so Jungkook grabbed the remote, playing Barbie over the LED. As soon as Vine saw that, her cry stopped, and a pouty smile appeared on her lips. Jungkook, do you want chocolate or ice cream? Vine, you won't kidnap me, right? She hugged herself tightly, looking at him with scared eyes, and moved back a little. Jungkook, of course not. I'll stay away, I promise. Ryan, pinky promise? She raised her pinky finger, which Jungkook took, sealing with his. Jungkook, I'll get you them. Watch your Barbie. Ruffling her hair quietly, he walked out of the room. He leant against the wall, needing some time for himself. How come he didn't know about it? He would have never shouted, no matter how worse his day was. He would have been more careful. What in this world did she face in her past to be this way? He wanted to hide her from the world and protect her forever. Fetching her snacks, he entered the room again and gave it to her. She took them happily and hugged them and rolled on the bed once. Wine, I want share. These are mine. You, shoo away. Shoo. Jungkook, that's very bad, he said, trying to lighten his mood for her, even if he was going through a whole war within himself. Jungkook, you should share. Did Mama not teach you that? Wine, but I want to eat it all. It's too less. She huffed and her eyes teared up, generally not wanting to share. Jungkook, alright, you can have it. In fact, if you want more, I'll get it more for you. Ryan, thank you, uncle. She started to eat her snacks, and Jungkook threw his head back with a groan at the word uncle. God, nothing was bad until now. But why uncle? He stayed on his side and quietly watched her laughing at movie and even crying at an emotional scene. He got her more snacks to keep her busy, along with playing more Barbie for her, until she fell asleep and he tucked her in sheets. Jungkook removed hair from her face and kissed her head. Jungkook, I'll take care of you. Grabbing his laptop, he searched for age regression and studied it a little bit to able to understand her better. Vine woke up in the morning. She found herself nestled in her husband's strong arms, who woke up as well due to her movement. Vine, oh, I'm sorry. I woke you up. Her voice was normal now, and she was much calm, and he knew. She was back to herself. Jungkook, there's nothing to be sorry about that. I was waiting for you to wake up. Jungkook, I'm sorry for shouting at you yesterday. He stroked her hair. Vine, I made you worried and was careless. It was only valid. Jungkook, no, it was not. He brought her closer and kissed her head. Vine, I meant to tell you about my illness before you got to witness it, but I was scared. I should have told you beforehand. You must be really surprised. Jungkook, do you remember everything? She nodded. Jungkook, tell me now then. I want to know more about you, Ryan. Your past, your happiness, your pain, your problems. I want to know all of you. Ryan, Dad was an alcoholic. He hated mom and me. She gave birth to a girl when he wanted a son. He would abuse me, and mom always tried to stop it but ended up getting hit by him. My whole childhood passed like this. Ryan, until I grew up a little and he forced me to do part time jobs to feed him and his addiction. Me and mom hardly had anything to eat because he would waste it all on his alcohol. My whole life had been like this except for when I got married to you. Ryan, it messed with me even more. The thought that I was going to marry a mafia. I almost performed suicide. I thought I suffered my whole life due to my father, and now I have to marry a mafia and suffer for the rest of my life too. Ryan, I didn't want to live like that. But the thought of mom brought me back. We got married. I was scared of you until you talked to me, and then you became my safe place. He slid her in his arms and rolled over to shift on top of her. Jungkook, look around. What do you see? Ryan, you. Her eyes then shifted over towards the window and the clear sky outside. Ryan, and the word. Jungkook, that's what your life is going to be about from now on. Your husband, who is going to bring the world to your feet. Ryan, you don't have a problem with my age regression? Jungkook, you shouldn't care who have a problem with how your life is. Not as long as you are alright with it. Yet, if that makes you feel better, I don't have any problem. Ryan, I do. I don't like falling into it. I don't want this. Jungkook, then we'll consult the psychotherapist, and I'm sure it will help you get better eventually. He laid beside her and held her hand. Jungkook, I'm with you, Ryan, no matter what you're going through. So tell me, all of it, and you'll have my support forever. She held his hand back tightly and brought it to her chest in a hugging manner. Ryan, why do you treat me so good? Jungkook, you're my woman, and any guy who doesn't treat his woman like she deserves the world is not a man. He stroked her hair and she closed her eyes. Maybe he was the blessing in return of everything she had to tolerate in her life. Or maybe there were some broken people needing each other to fix themselves. Whatever it was, she knew he was becoming her everything, and she was willing to let him in her heart without even knocking at the door. He was becoming her salvation, and he simply needed her to survive.